Hi, subscribe to my channel Shobha Rana for more.
Right? And then we can get into the depths of stuff. For instance, I think communication is a farce. You never really communicate, you always converse, and there's a huge difference. So, there is a model in my workshop called the QASW model. And the QASW model is if I were teaching you how to communicate, I teach you how to ask questions. So, if I said, and I don't know enough about you, so I'll ask. And we'll pretend like I don't know your name. So, what's your name?
Shobha,
Shobha, what do you do?
I am hosting this podcast right now
And how long have you been doing that?
for 15 months.
And what is your education like?
I'm an engineer and also a yoga graduate.
Okay, and where do you live?
Gurgaon.
And now you will find that I'm suddenly in an uncomfortable spot. I don't know what to ask
What
next.
next to us?
And this is the trouble with teaching you how to communicate. Because if I teach you how to communicate, I teach you one way communication. And it does not factor in what you might have to say. What do I ideally want is for you to be invested in this. So let's try this again. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Shobha.
That's a very beautiful name. Who gave you that name? Was it your mom or your dad?
It was my mom actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, because my grandmother, she named me as Santoshi. So my mom thought it's a very outdated name for that time. And she thought Shobha was a very in name, which I still feel my friends have grandparents. Those are this name. So I don't know what she saved me from. I feel Santoshi has become cooler these days. So I wish my grandma would have, that name they would have kept. Yeah.
You see how the difference is?
Yeah.
Because instead of just asking question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, leading it to a place जहाँ पे you are stuck against the back of a wall, you're like, भाई प्रखर को क्या हो गया? इतने सवाल क्या चाहता है ये इंसान इतने सवाल पूछ रहा है? All I did was after every answer you gave me, and we only had to do 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I gave a statement, like I said, Shobha is a beautiful name, and I waited. The first time I waited, you didn't know what to say. The second time I was like, who gave you that name? And you were like, my mom. And I was like, yeah. And then suddenly you burst open because people want to talk to other people. You just have to find a way to let them in. Up, you and I, we've been speaking for an hour or so. We've met a little while before. But even when you're having random conversations, instead of question, answer, because questions are the easiest way to talk, question, answer, make a statement and wait. And they'll fill in the pause. If they don't, ask another question, answer,
Right.
make a statement, wait. And so I have n number of tricks up my sleeve that make sure that the conversation's great.
Yeah.
But I think the most deepest fundamental, the secret to my success in terms of the social world is give people what nobody else is giving them.
And what would that be?
Happiness, encouragement, faith. Everybody's
You think
running.
people are not giving this to others?
No, where? Well, sure. I mean, I'm not saying कोई नहीं कर रहा. बट लार्जली यार सब भाग रहे हैं यहाँ से वहाँ अपना सर पकड़ के मेरी ज़िंदगी नहीं चल रही, मेरा ये नहीं हो रहा, मेरा पति ऐसा होता तो क्या हो जाता, मेरी बीवी ऐसी होती तो मेरे बच्चे ऐसे होते तो मेरा स्कूल ऐसा होता तो मैं गुड़गांव की जगह न्यूयॉर्क में होता. लाइक there's an endless desire loop. And if for 20 seconds I can make you feel like your life's enough, you will think of me forever. And I know this because I'm a very high impact networker, the way corporates would call me. Very, very high impact. As a matter of fact, I've picked this podcast up with pure brute force in certain ways. And that's because when people meet me, they really like me. And because I'm genuinely interested in what they're saying. And I actually want them to feel and do the best in their lives. I want nothing from them. And so they're very happy to be like, I'll connect you to this guy. And, that's why the conversations are so open. They want to tell me all this stuff about themselves. So you can't do that. You can't give somebody else happiness unless you feel that yourself. And so when we talk about communication and conversation, I also think you cannot do that without one, a foundational habit set that keeps you happy. Happy being at least stable. Happy nahi, but stable. Spiraling mein nahi ho tum. And then you, on top of that foundation, you need confidence. You really need to be confident because otherwise तुम्हारे मुंह से कुछ नहीं निकलेगा, तुम निकलेगा भी तो उसको खराब कर दोगे.
That is what I wanted to ask next. How does one build confidence? I've myself been in a profession of being on stage for the last 16 years, and the things that you're talking about, the exercises that you're talking about, these are the things that I have also danced with for the last so many years. So, it's easier said than done for people who haven't had their exposure to, let's say, to a stage or to content creation or to any form that lets them express themselves and be encouraged for that or be at least seen for that. So confidence becomes a key kind of a hindrance for people to kind of go beyond. So what would be your advice there?
Yeah.
As in, are people born with confidence? Why do some people have this
Insane
this
notion.
insane amount of confidence, and some people just struggle to say the bare minimum, even tell their names to others?
Okay. Before I answer that question, you said easier said than done. And you have no idea how many people say that after I am done talking. And I'm like, would you much rather have things that were easier done than said? Because
Exactly.
फिर फायदा क्या है? मुफ्त में ले जा. Like, would you much rather spend 10 years fighting and make your 5 crores or 10 crores, or would you just take 5 crores from me and go home? Because तू ले जाएगा वो 5 crore, 2 दिन बाद बोलेगा मैं deserve ही नहीं करता. तो you in any case want to work hard. You want to fight upwards.
That is how we are wired, I think.
Yeah, right. You want to feel like you deserve it. तो फिर कर लेना मेहनत. Easier said than done किस टाइप का cop out है मेरे भाई? 1. 2. You said how does one build confidence? There is 2 senses of confidence in my view. There is a generalized sense and a specialized sense. ठीक है? So I'm generally very confident. Also specifically when it comes to talking, I'm confident. But am I confident when I pick up the microphone to sing? No fucking way. Like मैं अभी किसी अपने दोस्त के घर डिनर पे गया हुआ था, तो एक उसकी मम्मी कहती है गाना गा. मैंने बोला आंटी कुछ भी करवा लो, इतनी बेइज्जती मत करवाओ. राइट? तो एक तो स्पेसिफिक कॉन्फिडेंस है और एक जनरल कॉन्फिडेंस है. जनरल कॉन्फिडेंस, and I do a lot of this work in Confidence on Command, which is a video library course I run. General confidence comes from truly analyzing your past and your future and your present. Right? See, reality और life को जीने के 2 प्लेन है, एटलीस्ट सिंपली स्पीकिंग, जो हमारे साथ सबके साथ है. ठीक है, मैं स्पिरिचुअल बिल्कुल जाने में इंटरेस्टेड नहीं हूँ.
Yeah.
हमने कॉन्वर्सेशन करी,
Yeah.
आप घर जाओगी, मैं घर जाऊंगा, मेरे से कोई पूछेगा अच्छा प्रखर कैसी रही, मैं उसको बताऊंगा कैसी रही. वो बताने में मैंने कहानी सुनाई. यूनिवर्सली देयर इज अ एक्शन प्लेन एंड अ स्टोरी प्लेन.
Correct.
एक होता है और उसके ऊपर एक कहानी बनती है. ठीक है, सपोज मैं घर जाता हूं और मैं बोलता हूं यार बेकार रही यार, आई डोंट थिंक आई डिड माई बेस्ट, यू नो दिस दैट, एंड दिस पॉडकास्ट कम्स आउट एंड इट हैज 1 million व्यूज. राइट? तो सच क्या है, जो मैंने कहा या जो हुआ? और क्या अब इसके 1 million व्यूज होने के बाद भी मेरे को वो खुशी मिलेगी जो तब मिलती जब मैं कहता ये अच्छा था कि नहीं? सो इन इफेक्ट होता क्या है, इन ऑल केसेस आप हिस्टोरिकली अपनी लाइफ को एनालाइज करके 5 मिनट चले जाओ, हिस्टोरिकली चले जाओ अपने जीवन में, अपने दुख में जाओ, बैठो और देखो तुमने उसको लेके अपने आप को क्या कहानी सुना रखी है. और ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं कह रहा हूं उस कहानी को ऑल्टर कर दो, कई कई जगह ऑल्टर हो जाती है, कई कई जगह रियली आई एम जस्ट लुकिंग एट इट पुअरली. द ब्रेकअप वाज नॉट माई फॉल्ट, राइट? द डिवोर्स वाज नॉट माई इशू, दिस वाज नॉट ऑन मी, दिस सर्कमस्टेंस. कभी कभी आप रियलाइज करते हो यार एक्चुअली मैं बड़ा लाइक आई एम नॉट टेकिंग केयर ऑफ माई सेल्फ, आई स्मोक टू मेनी सिगरेट्स, you know, I drink too much alcohol, I don't take care of my family, I don't take care of my health, I don't do the actions in the action plane that are needed for me to have the confidence. So your generalized sense of confidence comes from 2 places. One is fix the action level. The second is start reframing your story to make it better. Why are you beating yourself? Speaking to this very close friend of mine, incidentally kept insisting, I don't want to be lazy, I don't want to be lazy, I don't want to be lazy, and he was crying, right? He was telling me that his problem. And I was like, साले झांक के देखो अपने जीवन में, तुम 15 घंटे काम करते हो, किस बात का डर है? You know what he eventually says? He's like, मेरे को डर actually ये है कि मैं अपने पापा जैसा ना बन जाऊं. Boom. And so the story he's telling himself, 15 घंटे काम करता है, कहाँ है lazy? Very similar to what I was going through in 2019. कहाँ हो तुम lazy? But डर है. So very often the story is distorted. Very often the actions are distorted and you need to analyze and fix that. Specialized confidence in terms of talking to people, you don't need a stage to do this. You need feedback. Stage पे mass feedback है. भाई सुन रहे हैं, भाई के जैसे और 50,000 आदमी सुन रहे हैं. But तुम मेट्रो में बैठ के काम पे जा रहे हो, तो बगल वाले को हेलो बोल दो. The way I learned how to talk to people, because whether anybody likes to believe it or not, I was so shy. So shy. I have a story from school, 11th grade. I am trying to do an audition for a play. I look down in the audience. मेरी क्रश बैठी हुई, मैं बेहोश हो गया. मैं सिंपली बेहोश हो गया. और जब मैं बेहोश हो रहा था ना, डायरेक्टर कह रहा है एक्टिंग कर रहे हो. मैं कह रहा हूँ नहीं, मैं एक्चुअली बेहोश हो रहा हूँ. साले क्या कर रहे हो? तो लाइक इट वाज सो एम्बैरेसिंग to faint in front of a whole crowd, because like my friends would make consistent fun of the fact that I could not even think of talking to people beyond my friends. So effectively आपको evidence चाहिए होता है. So suppose somebody thinks Shri thinks he's a very bad communicator. वो मेरे से बात करता है, मैं श्री को जाते बोलता हूँ भाई यार आप तो बड़े, आपकी वाइब बड़ी अच्छी है. श्री बोलता है मेरी वाइब बड़ी अच्छी है. फक. वो इस कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ, सिर्फ इस झूठे कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ प्रखर की एक झूठी बात पे किसी और के पास जाता है, उससे भी बात करता है, वो भी खुश हो जाता है, कहता है यार आप तो बहुत अच्छी बातें करते हो. फिर वो किसी और के पास जाता है, उसको हेलो बोलता है, वो भी मुस्कुराने लगता है. 4 दिन में श्री बोलता है भाई हमसे तो ऊपर कोई आदमी नहीं है बात करने में. एंड सो कॉन्फिडेंस इज क्रिएटेड. यहाँ पे तो आई एम टेकिंग अ वेरी ट्रिवियल एग्जाम्पल, बट थ्रू एक्शन एंड रजिस्टरिंग फीडबैक ओवर एंड ओवर. नाउ if you were trying to learn anything at all, it's going to take sufficient amount of embarrassment before things are going to get better. This is what I did. I started just going out first in 2015-16 and talking to people and really embarrassing myself, really. And just when I thought I've gotten a hang of this, I went to America and the game really changed. मैं अमेरिका के, मैं कह रहा हूँ भाई इतना तो सीख के आए थे, अभी भी नहीं हो रही बात. ये क्या हो रहा है. मैं पूरा एक सेमेस्टर निकल गया, मेरे से एक क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा गया क्लास में, क्योंकि वो इंग्लिश में बात करें, वो इंग्लिश में भी ऐसे बिल्कुल हाई फलूटिन यू नो वोकैबुलरी. एंड आई एम लाइक ब्रो मैं तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता. देन आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग दिस अगेन एंड आई लिटरली वुड डू इट ऑन द स्ट्रीट्स. आई वुड वॉक अराउंड इन न्यूयॉर्क. हाय, you look very beautiful today, just wanted to let you know, want nothing from you, bye. And slowly tried to build momentum each day. And I was such a nerd, I'd come home and I'd write about it. आज मैंने ये किया, मेरे ये बोलने से लगता है ये हुआ. And I went really hardcore, like really hardcore. And then I got to this place where I became very fluent. I could speak for an hour. And I could speak for an hour and hold attention. Then I started doing the internet. And once I started doing the internet, I would watch myself after. The reason I like live streaming is because I'm getting constant feedback. And through that, I developed a better sense of storytelling, a sharper understanding of what keeps people's attentions and whatnot. So I told you in the beginning, this setup, we are tilting and talking. There is a background unconscious discomfort. If we were sitting on a table across from each other, we do much better. That's my experience. I do much better like that. But when your eyes are locked, there is nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Right? And so I then acquired a whole different format. I learned it from scratch. I never read a book. I read some books, but only after. First, I did it. I failed miserably. I have hundreds of pages of writing about my negative self-talk और मैं कभी ये नहीं कर पाऊंगा और लोग मतलब मैं क्या करूं. I'm so like jacked and tall and big and people still don't like talking. Like all of this is in pages. All of this. And then it got to a point, and this is also literally true, some people find it hard to believe, I would speak in Hindi in America and people would love me because I realized my body and my emotions speak louder than my words. And so even if I crack a joke in Hindi, the music is loud enough where they don't have to bother, but they see me smile and they smile.
I really enjoyed talking to Prakhar on various topics. Here is the full podcast link. Thank you for watching.